Introducing Gerald.
I don't know. I guess I kind of look like that. Once I finished the Ahsoka Season 1 finale, I uploaded a video. And on that video, I got a comment. And this is a kind of an unorthodox comment, and I thought it required a little bit of digging into. So I've been digging. And this comment comes from JR11ZE23. And he says, does Huyang have the memory of teaching Tar Vizsla the way to make the Darksaber? If so, could he help Sabine remake it if and when they make it back and learn it was destroyed? So I have some possibilities on that, and I want to talk a little bit deeper about what Huyang actually knows, what's stored in his memory banks. Interesting character, and I can't wait to dig into it. But before I do, I want to go ahead and announce this video's sponsors: Rockin' H. Bushcraft, Black Billy 1965, Keanu Star 8662. Thank you guys. No, they don't sell me anything. They don't give me anything. They just want to be called sponsors because they love the channel and they want to see it succeed. So thank you guys. And their message follows thusly. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, and share it with some of your Star Trek fans. Yes, I said Star Trek. Why not? Let's convert them. Yeah, actually, I kind of like Star Trek as well. But I'm a Star Wars fan. I don't know much about the Star Trek lore. Anyways, subscribe, like, share it with some Star Trek fans or other Star Wars fans. This is a channel to come if you love Star Wars. Plain and simple. Anyways, so that's 4 shout-outs. And when I get a comment on one of my videos that makes sense to me, I do use those comments and I give the person full credit for it. In this instance, I am giving JR11ZE23 credit for giving me the idea for this video. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's a good topic to talk about. What does Huyang know? What does Huyang remember? What's stored in Huyang's memory banks? He seems like the Ollivander of the Harry Potter series in Star Wars form, only much older. How old is Huyang? Over 25,000 years old. That puts him back to the Old Republic. That means that Huyang has been accompanying younglings to Ilum and beyond to find their kyber crystals and teaching them how to build lightsabers and different lightsaber combat forms since the beginning of the Old Republic. So who do we know in the Old Republic that could have been trained by Huyang? With so many Jedi from the Old Republic, just to name the most popular is Revan, later Darth Revan, turned Sith. It's quite possible that Huyang taught Revan how to build his first purple lightsaber. Once Revan turned to the Sith side, he became known as Darth Revan and continued using the purple lightsaber, possibly taught to him by Huyang, and adapted also a red lightsaber instead of bleeding the crystal of the purple one. With Darth Revan being born around 4,000 years prior to the Skywalker saga, it is quite possibly that the 25,000-year-old Huyang was there when that purple lightsaber was built. And now with Revan being canon once again, it would be nice to know if Huyang did partake in the building of that lightsaber. At least a mention of it or something. Now, I don't want to get too into detail as to all the people that Huyang could have taught to build a lightsaber, but I'm just going back that 4,000 years to say, hey, this popular character was possibly trained by Huyang. Possibly. Now, let's go on to more modern events and go back about 1,000 years to Tar Vizsla, the Darksaber creator. Now, Tar Vizsla was around 1,000 years ago, so yeah, what significance does he have now? Well, there's the Darksaber in the Mandalorian series, Star Wars Rebels, and the Clone Wars that directly affect the events of what's going on now. A lot of the battle between Moff Gideon, Bo-Katan Kryze, and Din Djarin was because of the Darksaber and Imperial power. Had Huyang taught Tar Vizsla how to build that elite lightsaber, then it would surely be stored in his memory banks. Interesting. And he would still know how to rebuild that Darksaber had the need arise. Yes, the Darksaber was destroyed by Moff Gideon crushing Bo-Katan Kryze's hand, and it looks like it's gone for good, unless Huyang knows how to rebuild it. But is he going to want to do that? seeing how much animosity was created with the Darksaber between the Mandalorian people, it doesn't really make us good sense to rebuild the saber. Especially now that we know Mandalorians are starting to choose their leader based on merit, warrior skill, and tactical planning, it makes no sense to have just an item claiming that somebody is the Mandalorian leader, especially when a non-Mandalorian can take up that weapon and become the leader, such as Maul in the Clone Wars and Moff Gideon. I like to think that Huyang would have learned the lesson of the Darksaber and would possibly say, no, we don't need to rebuild that. You're a good leader on your own. Don't need something that's going to be taken away from you. Yeah, makes sense to me. And I know a lot of Star Wars fans would like the Darksaber to be rebuilt just because it's a pretty cool weapon. Well, there are a number of manufacturers who make Darksabers. I have one myself. Purchase one, then it still exists. You can have that crackling blade fire up whenever you like and act out your own memories or made up stories about the Darksaber. That way it can continue. Now, I love the Darksaber. I think it's the coolest lightsaber ever created, but I do agree that it is time for it to be destroyed. I've been saying that for a long time, long before it was destroyed. Yeah, you can check out those videos another time. You know what? I'll just link them in the description below and at the end of this video, so just click on it when you're ready and watch what I said about it. But let's continue with Huyang. And we've talked about Darth Revan/Revan and Tar Vizsla being in Huyang's memory banks. Possibly. Probably. Most likely. I'd say yes. Yeah, I just talked myself into it. Anyways, let's move on. So there is a lot of debate out there, and there has been ever since the trailer for the Ahsoka series arrived ahead of the actual show, that Shin Hati is carrying Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber. And a lot of people are still continuing with this fascination that she took Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber after his death or some time after his death. And I don't see that as possible. Actually, I think it's already been confirmed that it is not Kanan's lightsaber because Huyang himself said in 500 years of memories or whatever, there has never been a lightsaber like this one that he knows of. He would definitely know of Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber. And that was my thought when the episode aired of Ahsoka, that Huyang was talking to Ahsoka about Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll's lightsabers. Then that was confirmed later on while Ezra Bridger is building his lightsaber. He said he only had 2 of these pieces in existence, and one of them belonged to Kanan Jarrus and became part of his lightsaber. So he definitely knew who Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber, knew that Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber belonged to him and would have absolutely recognized it had Shin Hati been carrying it. Now, a lot of people say in my headcanon this or my headcanon that. Well, the word headcanon confuses me because to me it sounds a lot like my own fan fiction this, my own fan fiction that, because headcanon doesn't match official canon and even the legend stories. I mean, your headcanon can cross over and have its own thoughts and views as to the events that have happened, and you can combine different events into what you think is real. But me, I like to use a little bit of proof. Even if I'm saying this Legends material needs to be canon, then that's not my head canon. That's just saying, please make these stories become real. Now, it just kind of sucks that we're going to have to wait 2 to 3 years if there is an Ahsoka Season 2. I haven't seen anything confirmed on it yet, just rumblings and talks, really. So it's going to be a long time before we get a continuation of this. But what I would like is at least a novel bridging between the 2 seasons. Now, I have heard that Timothy Zahn was working on a 3rd trilogy or 4th trilogy of the Thrawn novels, and that would be awesome. But right now it's just a rumor, so I don't want to go out there saying that, yes, he's absolutely making more Thrawn novels, and I don't really want to speculate on what it's going to be about if he is working on those novels. But I hope it does tie into the Ahsoka series a little bit more than his other novels did. Possibly his time on Peridia hunting Ezra Bridger and then giving up the hunt for Ezra Bridger for whatever reason. But it's totally up to Timothy Zahn and the people at Lucasfilm as to what he's going to write about if he is going to make another Thrawn trilogy. Let's hope so, though. I really hope so, because all of his trilogies have been amazing. From the Heir to the Empire series to the Thrawn series to the Ascendancy series, they've all been great. And I've read every one of them and I love them. And I'd also like to see somebody out there write a trilogy about Huyang, about his history from 25,000 years ago to present. I think that would be an interesting read to see the events of the entire Star Wars story played out through the Old Republic, the High Republic, the Regular Republic, the New Republic, the Empire, all that stuff. Let's see Huyang's memory banks, and let's see if Tar Vizsla or Revan pop up in there. And possibly even get some background to Shin Hati and Balin's skull. Well, maybe they deserve their own novels. Geez, man, I'm looking at a lot of money here if they really make all these novels. Okay, just don't listen to me and make the stories the way you want them. And you can have your own headcanon as to what the stories are and everything, but don't expect everybody to buy into it and say that's what the story is, because that's your own thoughts as to what the story should be. Just my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm excited. The Skeleton Crew, The Acolyte, The Mandalorian Season 4, Ahsoka possibly having a Season 2, The Mandalorian movie, all that stuff, and The Bad Batch Season 3. I can't wait, and it seems like it's going to be forever until any of these come out. So you guys are going to have to put up with me talking about other stuff between now and then. I'll pop in some Ahsoka stuff and Mandalorian stuff here and there, and also talk about other Star Wars lore until such a time when new material comes out. So, yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all of that, everything that I talk about. And like the video and share it with some friends. I don't care if they're Star Trek fans, Star Wars fans, Lord of the Ring fans, or people who admire dirt. If you have a friend out there who tries to find 901 ways of making macaroni and cheese, send this video to them. They'll never learn how to make more macaroni and cheese from it, but they will get sidetracked long enough to not be obsessed with macaroni and cheese. They and their therapist will thank you for it. Till the next video, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching. And remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars community can be the only way.